this is something that evolves, I think, over time as you learn that you are providing a value and a skill that does have some value to somebody and they will pay you for it. And a lot of that is doing your own mindset work and getting out of your own way and realizing that you do have something of value. And it can take a little bit of trial and error to get there, because if you think if you're charging for a service that you're not charging enough for, people aren't going to take you seriously.
Thank you for tuning into Time for You Evolve for female entrepreneurs. Remember, you have what it takes to achieve greatness. Your time is now. You're here with me, you're ready to change lives, and you're ready to change the world. Isn't it time to skip over the confusion and start creating sustainable and consistent results? We're going to pull back the curtain and start giving meaning to life in this podcast. Time for You Evolved. Hey, my name is Lisa Carmichael, and I am obsessed with everything online. It's no secret, in this crowded and highly competitive business world, we need to stand out. It's even more important at a deeper level to stand up for ourselves. I am a farm girl who grew up shy with zero confidence. If someone had suggested that I would eventually start a podcast, I would never have believed it. As a farm kid, I had the unique opportunity to embrace a holistic approach to life. All the seasons of growth were lessons that have helped me and other female entrepreneurs find success when they've been stuck and struggling. The Time for You Evolve podcast is here to help you navigate business online so you can be laser focused and help you navigate the messy and the magical in every season of your business. Pull up a seat to hear the tried and true secrets that other female entrepreneurs like you are facing and get ready for real talk while you learn. This is the Time for You Evolved podcast. Hey there, entrepreneurs, ready to work smarter, not harder? Then you're in for a treat. Let's talk about video marketing, the smart approach that attracts, retains, and converts faster than any other strategy out there. Hey, I get it. Video marketing can be daunting. You should be doing it, but you're not quite ready to take that leap, or you're frustrated because you're not looking like a pro. Hey, I get it. Who can blame you? Creating videos can be frustrating, time-consuming, and downright intimidating. That's where Big View comes in. It's the solution for your frustration. With Big View, you can create professional videos with ease thanks to its teleprompter app. I've been using Big View for years. Did you know that? Big View is an app that has saved me a lot of time and hassle. The app makes it easy to create professional looking videos. It's an online teleprompter that allows the presenter to keep eye contact with the camera while reading the text they need to speak. Using a teleprompter app allows the reader to sound natural without cue cards or notes to fumble or looking down while you're speaking. And the best part is that Big View allows you to focus on your performance and delivery so your confidence shines through. You get to keep eye contact with the camera while you're reading your script. Whether you're a marketer, a blogger, a trainer, a freelancer, a publisher, or business owner, Big View is designed with you in mind. If you're ready to take your video marketing game to the next level, click on the Big View link on my website, lisarcarmichael.com/bigview. Join me and be the best presenter you can be and learn how to make great presentations. And that's lisarcarmichael.com/bigview.
So, Katie, thank you for joining us here on Time for You Evolved. This is a podcast for female entrepreneurs. And if you're stuck and struggling, I want you to continue listening with us because you don't have to feel alone. And I think that's kind of the journey that most entrepreneurs feel, especially when they first get started. Our guest today is Katie Jamieson, and I've known Katie for a few years now, and she is a CEO that has evolved in her business, and I should say plural businesses. So, Katie, I don't have a formal introduction for you. So, would you mind introducing yourself today to our audience?
Yeah, Lisa, thank you for having me today. I'm really excited to talk about all things entrepreneurial and especially promoting women entrepreneurs. And that's actually how we met is through the Women Entrepreneurs of Minnesota. And so I run two businesses. I have a nonprofit and professional association consulting business where I run a couple of organizations and do a lot of STEM outreach programs in the community and run professional education programs for engineers. And with that, I have built out a team of subcontractors. So that's where you kind of, when you talk about that transition into CEO, that's where I really started to build some of those skills. And then I also own a travel agency. And so I help people plan and experience lifelong memories with their families. And I'm currently growing a team of travel entrepreneurs underneath that business. So I like to take my skills and put good out into the world. And that's kind of how my entrepreneurial journey has evolved a little bit is that I had, some life changes that occurred and decided it was time to jump into this. All of the ups and downs that occur as you decide to jump into this really evolved into how am I using my kind of eclectic skills to put good back into the world.
Not only an entrepreneur, but you're a mom. And
I
you
am.
tell me about your family.
Yeah, I have two daughters and they are 11 and 13. And I'm also very passionate about talking about ways that women can integrate parenting into being a professional. So my girls are very well versed in volunteering for some of my nonprofit work. They also help me with my travel agency sometimes. In fact, I asked them if they would do some photo projects for me this summer with some Disney vacations because they know Disney so well. They're going to help me organize a whole library of content on Disney.
I love it. So, with all of the things that you're involving, what are you promoting these days?
Um, Funny you should ask that, because I've actually been working on this recently. I'm really looking for projects that will allow me to give back to others in meaningful ways. And so I obviously do that with some of my STEM outreach programs. I am currently growing my team of travel advisors, and I serve people who are vacationing pretty much anywhere in the world. I do a lot of Europe, a lot of Disney, a lot of multi-generational family stuff. And then I also do some speaking here and there on just ways that people can pursue your dreams when life kind of turns upside down and kind of picking yourself up and building those grit skills and to keep going.
I love it. I love how the experience you've had with traveling goes back to when you traveled with your mom who was leading groups. And was it high school groups?
Yeah, so my mom was a high school French teacher. It's great that you asked me that because that is part of like how and why I got back to travel in my entrepreneurial journey is I really kind of thought about what are the things that have kind of been buried inside me for years and it was this travel dream. And so my mom was a high school French teacher and when I was a kid she took high school students to Europe every other summer. And she and her language colleagues were kind of movers and shakers in the 80s. They were doing this before this was really a thing. And they would do like a whole European tour with students, and they'd be gone for like 3.5 weeks, close to a month sometimes. And so in my early 20s, I was able to go on two trips with her with high school students and my high school French teacher and get to do some of that. So we went to France twice in that way. I've been to France many, many times. But that was part of what kind of drove me is these pieces of my childhood where I didn't necessarily go to Europe as a kid, but Europe came to me because my mom did exchanges and we always had people coming to visit. And so to take all of those kind of very cultural experiences and the travel and use that to give back to others is part of why I decided to do that. Add it to my business services, I guess you could say.
I love it. And that's why if I'm traveling, you're my go-to person because I know, and you know the things that others probably don't know. So that's so great. And you actually you've leaned into as an entrepreneur, we have to lean into what we already know
Mhm.
So, yeah, that's so awesome. So good for you. I love it. Have you had any travel experiences that you want to share so people aren't quite so scared of traveling?
I work with a lot of people who are maybe leaving the country for the first time,
Mm.
or quite often I will help people just the tech of all things travel. Sometimes that comes into play a lot too when I'm sending multi-generational families to Disney, and it may be that the grandparents are paying for the trip, and so they're bringing their adult children and their grandchildren, and there's a lot of tech involved. And so a lot of what I do is help people get all their tech set up and ready to go, make sure all their trip is organized so that it doesn't fall to the busy working parents who don't have time to plan this, but the grandparents want to sponsor the trip and they don't want to deal with that piece of it. So I make sure all of those things are set up for them. And I do that also with Europe. I mean, there are so many ways that people need help figuring out all the details of getting out of the country. And so I love keeping up on the details of that.
So, what do you mean by tech things? Give me
Yeah,
an
so
example.
if you're gonna go to Disney World or Disneyland or any Disney park, you need to have your app set up. So it's a called My Disney Experience app. Same with all of your airline apps or other apps that you might need to navigate your way around Europe. That's a lot of tech. It can be overwhelming for people. So you're also trying to figure out all of the Googling related to what am I going to do on my trip? What do I need to know? And when you choose to work with a travel advisor like me and my team, we help you relieve that overwhelm. One of the number one ways I work with people is on relieving the overwhelm of whatever they're trying to plan and do. And so the first thing I do when I'm going to work with somebody who I'm either planning their vacation, any other type of planning or leading project is I really interview them and kind of get to the root of some of what they're seeking and how I can best fill the gaps for what their needs are. So when that comes to travel, there's a lot of overwhelm in Googling, people doom scroll. How do I choose the best hotel? How do I figure out what's the best place to go in this city? How do I build an itinerary that's going to allow us to see a lot of a place but not be so overwhelmed? Those are the things I really find out the root of what's going to make the best experience for my clients and make that happen. And sometimes that's where all the tech comes into play, where it's, I don't know how to do this, that, or otherwise. What do I really need to know and do?
How are people finding you?
Yeah, I can be found on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. My travel agency is called Engage Travel Co. And we're also at engagetravelco.com. Also, same handles on Facebook and Instagram. And then my CEO Instagram account is Voyage La Vie, which is kind of a tongue in cheek. It's not actually proper French. But
Oh,
voyage is to travel and La Vie is life. And so I put them together. So
that's
my kind
cool.
of phrase that I like to use when I'm sharing about just how and why I got into serving people with travel is travel with life.
That's so important to stay connected with social media, but you're really staying busy through word of mouth
Mhm.
because people are getting to know you from the experiences that they've had with you. As entrepreneurs, it's so important to build those relationships. Are you staying busy because of who you know and what people are experiencing?
Yes, I believe very strongly in having a solid network in, especially, as we kind of jump into this world of being an entrepreneur, there's two layers of it because there's a layer of just meeting other people and maybe finding people to connect with or mentors who are a little bit further down the road than you on the
Mhm.
entrepreneurial journey and to make sure you kind of have a seat at that table, but also to make sure that you're mentoring people who want to be entrepreneurs and build that business. And that's what I'm starting to do with building a team of people who would like to be part of the travel industry is making sure that I can use my skills because I really like the big things. I like to build big projects. I like to connect on big kind of strategic levels. And so I'm taking all of those skills and putting them into a way that other people can build a business that they want from home and build a business around their life by selling travel.
Are you looking for partners with that?
Yeah, yeah, I'm always open to connecting with people who might want to give it a try.
And do they need experience or what type? Obviously, they do need experience, but what type of experience? do they need?
So I do train people if they haven't sold travel, and it really transitioned into this from a lot of different careers. It takes a willingness to learn and be coached, a little bit of grit, wanting to learn sales, and obviously the passion for travel is very important. One of the number one ways, I've talked a lot about how I maybe help people fill in the gaps of planning their travel. But one of the biggest things I do too is serve people while they're traveling, because I've had people who have had to come home from vacations because a family member was dying. I had a honeymoon last year that had to be rescheduled at the last minute because a family member died literally the week of somebody's wedding. Like those kinds of things that you don't always see. And these people were not stuck trying to figure out all of the details themselves. They call me and I handle it. Yeah. So travel, in terms of being a travel advisor and a travel professional, is changing rapidly. And where it really shifted was the pandemic, and it became more of a value add service base. It's not a transactional thing. Most of the people who hire me are hiring me because they don't have time to plan their own vacation and they're overwhelmed, or they really are in need of just some sort of help because it might be a trickier destination they've never been to, or a type of travel they haven't done. Oh, and one of the big ways people also come to me is they want to feel like it is their vacation so they can shut their brain off, right? Because how many times have you heard, especially sometimes moms say, "Oh, yeah, everybody had a great time. I did all the work," right? Well, it's your vacation too. You deserve a vacation. And so you can really kind of shed that mental load when you work with a travel professional.
And so that's probably one of the pain points that is a common denominator in your business, that people
The
are
biggest thing I
overwhelmed.
help people with is overwhelm, burnout. I need a break, or, some sort of major life hurdle that may have occurred. I tend to work with quite a few people who may be currently facing cancer treatment, or who may be just finishing cancer treatment. And having been through that journey of being diagnosed with cancer myself and kind of getting to the other side of life with that, I absolutely work on meeting people where they're at. And another thing people don't talk about a lot with this, because vacations, typically you want to see in a happy space. We're going on vacation to make all these memories. We're going to do all these amazing things. And while vacations do provide lifelong memories, sometimes I'm helping people travel in some sort of grief process because they've either lost a loved one, someone is facing a major medical crisis, and oh my gosh, we want to take this vacation. We need to get out of here and we need someone to help manage that.
So what can a customer expect from you when they say, "Katie, can you help me?" When they find you?
I customize how I help people based on what they're seeking. So while I might have, work processes that I've built for my travel agency about how I serve clients, the way I do that really kind of fills the gaps of what their needs are. Is this person going to doom scroll forever? Okay, I'll take that off their plate. Are they totally overwhelmed with how to pack for a Disney trip with little kids? Okay, we can work on that. Those kinds of things that really just take the overwhelm off of whoever's plate it would have been if they were planning the whole thing themselves.
And how do you tap into, like, their budget? And are they willing to talk about their budget when they first have that first conversation with you?
That's a great question, Lisa. So I'm not your average Minnesotan in that I will just directly call out and talk about money, and I'm not passive aggressive about it. And it's really important because in order to find ways that I can best help somebody, I need to know what they're comfortable spending on something. And I find that the clearer clients are when they're coming to me with this is our range, the better I can find something that will fit within that. So it doesn't need to be awkward. Obviously, sometimes it kind of is, but it really helps me figure out what are the options for helping you get to whatever that dream destination or that vacation is.
And that's so true with any type of business. As an entrepreneur, we as women, we're afraid to have that conversation. It's like an energy that is scary.
Yeah, come see me. I love to talk about money. I'm not afraid of it.
That's good. Would you be open to sharing any experiences that would help other female entrepreneurs when it comes to money?
That is a great question. And yes, I would love to talk about this because it can sometimes be one of the scariest things that stops us from pursuing our entrepreneurial dreams or from getting to a point where we're profitable. And this is something that evolves, I think, over time as you learn that you are providing a value and a skill that does have some value to somebody and they will pay you for it. And a lot of that is doing your own mindset work and getting out of your own way and realizing that you do have something of value. And it can take a little bit of trial and error to get there, because if you're charging for a service that you're not charging enough for, people aren't going to take you seriously, right? But a lot of that comes from your own heart. What are you providing and what is that value, and getting clear on that yourself, which is a whole lot of unburying your own limiting beliefs to get there. It's a work in progress. And I will tell you that I'm constantly adjusting that, constantly. Actually, that's the biggest question I ask myself when somebody comes to me with a project, whether it's a nonprofit project or a vacation, is what is the value I feel I can provide to them in this situation? And how am I going to show up with that? And that's how I kind of work the money piece.
Because you're on both sides of the spectrum. The nonprofit has to be a whole different way of looking at being a business owner.
Right. So on that side, I run a sponsorship program. So I'm constantly looking at what are the ways that companies want to work with our engineering association. And I run a middle school math program called Math Counts. It's a math competition program. And so when people are sponsoring that, what is the value we're providing back to them? It's the same skill set I use when I'm selling a vacation.
Katie, would you ever be open to other female entrepreneurs just reaching out to you and just tapping into what you've gone through in your brain about your journey?
Yeah, I love connecting with people, always open to it. Any way I can help other women pursue their dreams, that's kind of one of my goals, is really just, taking what I've learned and giving back to others in that way.
That's so important to do because, years back, it was such a you had to step on someone's toes to move forward. And we're learning that the more we help each other, the more we grow. And it's so huge when we do that because it's not about competing up with anyone. It's really building that partnership.
When you
Yeah.
come from a place of abundance, it opens up your world to so many new things. And I love that you brought that up, because that is a passion of mine, is encouraging other women to pursue their dreams and making space for everyone. I just finished writing some content that's going to be published later this year, and the theme I was writing with it is actually one of the main kind of rules of improv. Okay, so I'm not trained in improv. I was formerly in theater in high school and beyond, but and there I did it. I said, but. So when you take the notion of yes and you're going to run a scene in improv, the scene keeps going. As soon as you say the word but, it kills the scene. So if you take that as entrepreneurs and as women, how can we say yes and to everyone around us? It opens up a whole new world of, I don't know, abundance, welcoming. I love taking what I've learned and giving back to others. And I'm very grateful for the people who opened their doors to me when I was first starting out. And almost 5 years since I started my business.
How many do you have in your agency right now? And how many are you looking to add to your agency?
Yeah, right now I have 2 people on my team who are selling travel. I have someone who helps me run my operations. I have an assistant. And then I also have several subcontractors on my nonprofit business as well. So I do a lot of different types of communications projects there, event planning, that sort of thing. So all in total, I have a team of about 7 or 8. I'm looking to add about 5 or 6 more people who want to sell travel within the next 6 months or so right now.
And how did you find the initial people that started with you?
It's a great
Word of
question.
mouth?
Totally related to abundance. I put it out there into the universe and let people know that I was open to working with people, and the right people showed up. Yeah, it's like when you're open to finding the right connections, there they are.
And what type of people are you looking for? Again, let's put that out there
People
right
who
now.
want to build a business from home, who probably have a passion for travel, want to learn about the entrepreneurial side of it, are open to being coached, open to learning about sales. But sales can be a scary word. Sales is not slimy, and it's not where you're taking advantage of somebody. When you actually learn how to do sales, it is about meeting someone's need. I
And you're
never
basic
ever sell a vacation to somebody that doesn't meet what they're actually looking for. I won't do it. If it's not the right fit, I won't do it.
Good for you. That's so important because you want, again, you want to meet people where they're at.
Yep. Yeah, it's all about meeting people where they're at.
And I'm sure you're an amazing mentor because if someone gets stuck, I'm just going to call Katie. Katie will know the answer.
So there's this whole bit of grit that if you don't know the answer, you're going to go figure it out. And how can you just, honestly, Lisa, when I get stuck at something, I will give it some space. I will pause and I will stop and think, what is the best way to respond or handle with this or deal with this with integrity? And the answer usually shows up.
Such great advice for any entrepreneur or any human being as far
Mhm.
as that goes, because we think that we have to have an answer for everything
Right.
immediately. So
Yeah,
well
and if you
said.
give it space, you can let it sit. And I actually keep some of my top value words like on my wall in my office that remind me just lead with integrity or respond with gratitude. And it really helps in those situations where you feel like maybe the world is crumbling, something horrible is going to happen. There's light on the other side of it. And maybe that comes from the fact that I have gone through cancer diagnosis and surgeries and been on the other side of those things, but that's just how I see it, and I just choose to respond with gratitude, and most things work themselves out from there.
How old were you, Katie, when you went through that? Through
34.
cancer?
I was 34.
34. And how long did the whole, from beginning to end, how long did that last?
Oh, it's still not over.
Um,
It doesn't ever go away. Actively though, almost 3 years. I did not have the type of cancer that required chemotherapy or anything like that. I had 3 abdominal surgeries in 2 years. I had something, and I do share about this a little bit on my Instagram. So if somebody's interested in learning more, they can always reach out to me there. But I had a very rare cancer called well differentiated papillary mesothelioma of the peritoneum. It was in my abdomen, something that pretty much nobody's ever heard of. In fact, the doctor who found it in surgery when they were looking for endometriosis had never heard of it. And so, very lucky that I was able to go to the Mayo Clinic very shortly after that. But it was a couple of years of trying to figure out how to manage this because there was no path. So, talk about life skills that set you up to become an entrepreneur, because I actually thought my dreams of becoming an entrepreneur were dead at that time because, I had like everything changed. But there was no path to follow. There were no boxes to fit in. I had to figure it all out. So, a couple of years of working on that and getting connected with an organization called the Mesothelioma Applied Research Foundation, which is a nonprofit serving people who are diagnosed with extremely rare mesothelioma of all kinds. That was a huge turning point for me. I still had to make my own path though.
so were you working full time when this was discovered?
Yes, I was. And I had 2 small kids. They were 3 and 5 at the time.
Uh, so was there any silver lining in it at all?
I think it comes back to that yes and thing.
Mm.
You can't erase what happened to you, and it doesn't negate that painful, hard things. And I now live in a way where I get to choose how to respond to what comes my way. And that's kind of the skill set I use to put into my businesses.
Do you feel like you've had a change of mindset since maybe when you were in your early 30s,
Mhm.
33 versus where you're at right now?
Yeah, a lot of grief will do that. The short version is leading up to the cancer diagnosis, I had been through a total of 4 miscarriages. A lot of
Mm.
grief will do that. A lot.
People just don't understand how your hormones and how your body and how your mind works with that. So that had been tough.
Right. So you add all of that up, and that's why for a while I thought I couldn't pursue my business dreams. And turns
Mm.
out it was just evolving, but
I
it
love
was
it.
definitely
I
a
love
few
it.
years of a lot of heartache.
So, Katie, when it comes to marketing, it's a subject that confuses a lot of female entrepreneurs. They feel like they don't understand it. I'm curious, what kind of things have you done that have helped your business?
That's a great question, Lisa. I will say sometimes it takes a lot of trial and error. And the number one thing I've learned to come back to is be yourself, be your genuine self, and put yourself out there, and getting clear on who you're speaking to. When you do those things, it's easier to show up as you. And the more you show up as you, the more people are going to find you and build that know, like, and trust factor, and they want to hire you and work with you. So one of the biggest ways I like to do that is by story sharing ways that I use my skills to serve others and how I can help other people with that. So I do that a lot with the travel stuff, but I also do it with, my STEM programs. I also will remind people, don't be afraid to show up on video. Don't be afraid to put your face out there. I know it's scary. And when you kind of get over that first layer of doing it, it's a lot easier. It's so
It
much easier.
really is. It's a momentum kind of thing.
Yeah,
It starts slow, but once you get the ball rolling, it just gets easier
it's okay.
to move it forward.
And I didn't mention this, but one of the things I also do is I coach people who are starting their own travel business with a company called Wanderlust Campus. And that's one of the number one things I help people with is just getting over that piece of just saying, I'm open for business. Here I am. Everyone starts somewhere. So if you look at anyone who's got these polished socials and their photos and their videos, they didn't start there. They started in some amateur level. Maybe they got some coaching, but they just kept going. And so that's what I encourage people is just keep going.
So
And
true. So
the number one thing of being an entrepreneur is failing and failing forward and learning from your failures. And you can
isn't
use
that
that
the
all day,
truth?
every day in your marketing.
Isn't that the truth? Well, Katie, thank you so much for spending time with us here on Time for You Evolved. And how can listeners find you? Again, I know you said it before, but let's say it again, just so we can be sure that people
Thanks
know
for
where you
having
are.
me, Lisa. I really enjoyed chatting with you about all this. And as you can tell, I'm very passionate about serving other entrepreneurs. I am on LinkedIn, Katie Jamieson. That's Jamieson, not like the whiskey. And Instagram is voyage, so voyage.la.vie, voyage levy. And then my connection with Facebook, and then my travel agency is Engage Travel Co. and is on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn as well.
So thank you, Katie. Thanks for joining me today. I want listeners to reach out to Katie if you're stuck on your entrepreneur journey. I'm sure Katie would be open to having a conversation with you. And if traveling is your passion, Katie is also a go-to person because she has a wealth of wisdom with all the experiences that she's had. Thank you again, Katie. I will include in the show notes the links that you shared with us. Thanks again. And I look forward to seeing you. And we need to do coffee, I guess, in person so that we can get together and catch up with things.
I would love that. Thank you again.
Okay, so what an inspiration. I am so honored to know Katie as a friend, as a fellow female entrepreneur. I've known Katie for a few years. Katie's a great mentor. She's been around, she's been through a lot, and she probably can relate to anything that you have going on. So don't be afraid, reach out. A lot of times you're stuck and struggling, and until you ask someone for advice, you're going to stay stuck and struggling.
I hope you enjoyed this episode of Time for You for Female Entrepreneurs. If you loved this episode as much as I did, head on over and rate and subscribe so you never miss an episode. New episodes drop every week, and if you want to support the show, leaving a review goes a long way. A special shout out to our amazing partners and sponsors. Their support allows us to continue bringing you engaging content every week. And with that, a big thank you. I look forward to seeing you next time. If you're ready to supercharge your email marketing and automation game, look no further than my favorite autoresponder, Active Campaign. It's the ultimate all-in-one platform designed to turn your contacts into customers and your customers into loyal advocates. Imagine having a tool that not only understands your customers, but anticipates their needs. That's what Active Campaign does. With its powerful customer experience automation, you can create personalized journeys that nurture leads, drive sales, and build lasting relationships. The biggest reason I chose ActiveCampaign after trying other autoresponders is because I wanted to make sure my emails were being delivered and not going into spam. I need to know that my emails actually get to the people I'm emailing so that I have good engagement rates, response rates, and click-through rates on every email I create. Then I can have peace of mind that what I send out about my blog posts or upcoming events gets delivered and that people get to read what I write. And since it's just me, using ActiveCampaign saves me a bunch of time because I've been setting up automations that I can just drag and drop, allowing me to save hours of time. Not only have their pre-built automations and integrations saved me time, I'm able to power a personalized marketing plan throughout the customer's life cycle. In the end, I really want to personalize my message and make sure that each person is getting a unique email tailored to them because I don't want to be sending bulk cookie cutter emails. I want to make sure that my customers and community is getting things that are tailored to them as much as I can. Email marketing doesn't have to be crazy where you're not just pushing information. ActiveCampaign teaches you how to be pulling information as well. I appreciate the value I've received from ActiveCampaign when it comes to creating and managing email campaigns. The support through webinars, live chats, and live study halls have been very helpful in maximizing their platform and a great alternative to those other email services I've tried in the past. ActiveCampaign allows me to build a business without relying on advertising. It has simplified my marketing processes, saving me time, which allows me to focus on what I do best, serving my customers. Whether you're a small business or just starting or a seasoned entrepreneur, ActiveCampaign scales to meet your needs and grows with you. If you're ready to up your marketing game, go to my website, lisarcarmichael.com/ActiveCampaign. That's my partner link, and sign up for a free trial. Experience firsthand the power of ActiveCampaign and take your marketing to a new level. Don't miss out. Stay ahead and stay automated with ActiveCampaign. Go to lisarcarmichael.com/ActiveCampaign for your free trial. Hi friends. Today let's have a heart-to-heart about something that's been a significant part of my life, skincare. As a busy female entrepreneur, I need a skincare routine that's quick, easy, and super effective. Turning 60 didn't bother me because I've been taking care of my skin every day for 20 plus years. I didn't always, but I'm glad I did start when I did. Let's fast forward to 1 year ago, and let me tell you about a game changer for me. I stumbled across my secret weapon, Droplet. Droplet is not your typical skincare company. It's a revolutionary approach that delivers personalized monthly skincare subscriptions tailored to your specific skin type. The magic lies in the Droplet Micro Infuser, a device that creates microscopic droplets from formulated capsules, expelling them at a high velocity to infuse ultra-concentrated active ingredients deep into your skin. Now, I'm a self-proclaimed skincare junkie. I've tried it all, from serums to spa treatments and even once selling a natural body care line. So when I heard about Droplet, I knew I had to give it a shot. I can confidently say it's made a remarkable difference in my skin and my routine. The Droplet Skincare Micro Mist Infusing Device is a game changer. It uses a gentle mist to penetrate ingredients 20 times deeper through micro mist technology. It works with formulated capsules similar to an espresso machine, allowing you to infuse the treatments that are right for you into, not just onto, your skin. Here's how Droplet works. Choose your serum, collagen, retinol, glycolic acid, or maybe a lip plumper. Insert the capsule, hold the device to your face, and press the button. A fine mist of the serum is released onto your skin, targeting your face, your neck, chest, anywhere you want to focus on. These misting capsules have transformed my skincare routine. The results are incredible, from increased resilience to fading hyperpigmentation. Why do I love Droplet? It's quick, easy, and the capsules are recyclable. No cleanup, no hassle. And here's the bonus. Droplet's formulas are clinical strength, dermatologist recommended, cruelty-free, sulfate-free, paraben-free, gluten-free, soy-free, fragrance-free, and vegan-free. It's a skincare lover's dream. If you're looking to level up your skincare routine and evolve beyond the basics, Droplet is your answer. Plus, they offer free skin consultations with their estheticians to address your skin concerns. Investing in a good skincare routine and self-care is crucial for any woman, especially us busy entrepreneurs. First impressions matter, and you want to put your best face forward. It's time to evolve and embrace the next level of skincare. Head over to the Droplet link on my website today, where you can start your own personalized Droplet routine. Here's to glowing, radiant, and fiercely beautiful you, no matter what age you are. Go to lisarcarmichael.com/droplet.